Well, the models have officially flipped again. Now they show the Arctic blast continuing for the eastern United States as opposed to a shift to the western United States. We're going to take a look at these current conditions and then dive into all that because there is some huge changes that we see in that department. We do see there is some storminess down here for the four corner states, all the way into a bit of the south central United States as well. This is kind of our most moderate showers, I would say, our heaviest showers around. We do have a pocket in here for the Dakotas and Montana going on. And then we can see for the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes, we also have a pocket of storminess here with a bit of a low up there in Canada, bringing some snowfall for Canada, heavier rainfall showers down here for the United States. We'll start out with our southwest here and then kind of move up there. As we can see, there is plenty of storminess happening for states like Oklahoma, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. I just said those in a very confusing order there, but in general, we see plenty of these scattered showers, light to moderate, I would say. There is plenty of yellows and oranges going on. More greens than oranges and yellows, I would say. But overall, this is an area where we're seeing these showers take place. And we can see in between Kansas and Missouri some of these as well up in here taking place, some lighter showers. Actually, that might be a radar error there. That looks very odd, so I don't think that's actually happening. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I really don't feel like that's happening. We do see some more tropical showers around for these areas, but a lot more temperate than things had been over the summer and the earlier fall. As we're heading towards mid-fall now, we're kind of seeing things become a lot more temperate here, even in the deeper south areas there. As we take a look here, a little bit further northward, we can see that there is just this pocket of activity in here happening through Montana, mostly South Dakota, but also a little bit of North Dakota there, where we see these light to moderate showers ongoing. Now, as we take a look at this overall bigger system with a cold front extending down underneath here, we do have a low somewhere up here in Canada, bringing these more moderate showers along this cold front. This is a little bit more intense precipitation there happening, I would say. And even we can see down further south for a bit of the Ohio Valley, we do have some pockets of showers happening. Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, and Indiana there, we're seeing some of these lighter to moderate showers as well. The Northeast, we see some of this activity along the coastline as there is some a bit of storminess up here, bringing some of those little individual storms there. Now, what we're going to do is move on, and we're going to dive into that upcoming pattern because, again, things have totally flipped from the moderate range into the long range. Now, I did mention in yesterday's video that things had the potential to change quite a bit. I just didn't know that they would change entirely because we're going to see on this precipitation forecast that since that Arctic blast doesn't move into the western United States, we don't see a low diving down into the western United States either, which also means there is no major snowstorm diving into the western United States. So that just shows how one little thing changing can change actually the entire picture of the entire thing there. Very interesting stuff. As we reach later today, we can see this cold front developing. Arctic blast clearly building in here for southern central Canada is what I would call it. As we reach about Friday afternoon time frame, we see a low here on the very eastern flank of this cold front extending a little bit further south now. And in general for Friday and Saturday, we're going to see a lot colder temperatures here in the eastern half of the nation, especially Saturday here, where we will be fully engulfed in a positive PNA here with this Arctic blast diving into the eastern United States, bringing cooler temperatures for these regions. Most of the precipitation happening here around the four corner states and south central United States, actually. As we continue on with this is when we would usually see the warm air shifting eastward and the cold air diving into the western United States here, but we really don't see that happen. This storm doesn't really solidify into a major snowstorm. We see mostly rain showers, snow showers happening by about the 12th, 11th, 12th time frame. And what we see actually happen is an Arctic blast take hold of the eastern United States, and that positive PNA gets reinforced here in the western United States. Total shocker here. Although after the pattern we've been in, it isn't that big of a surprise. We do have a cold front extending really far south here, bringing pretty intense precipitation here for areas all the way from the northeast down through the mid-Atlantic into the southeast and the south central United States, the Gulf states primarily there. This could be our biggest Arctic blast of the season so far. Very, very violent one here around Thursday through Saturday there. That's going to be the 13th through the 15th. Even a bit of snowfall for New England can't be ruled out. And look at that. It looks like another one is on its way to the eastern United States right behind it here. Really intense as we even see a bit of a major snowstorm happening here for North Dakota and Minnesota there, 993 millibar low pressure center. What's likely going to happen is this low is going to move further eastward, and this is going to allow for this cold front to really extend southward here and eventually target the eastern United States with that colder air. Very interesting to see this model flipping in the long range, like I said. I did mention, again, that this was possible. I just didn't really think it would be an entire flip of the long-range pattern, but it does happen occasionally. You just can't ever really expect it to happen. Now, here's the total precipitation through the next 10 days. We're still looking relatively dry. There is some active areas, including New Mexico into Texas and Oklahoma. We do have some areas there in North Carolina seeing quite a bit, and then even the Northeast seeing quite a bit of precipitation. Now, your whites are going to be practically no precipitation. Your grays will be 1/10 of an inch or less. Your greens will be 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Your blues will be 1/2 an inch to an inch. Your yellows will be 1 inch to 2 inches. Your reds will be 2 to 5 inches. And then your browns will be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation. Total snowfall looking dramatically lower than yesterday because we don't get that major snowstorm or potential blizzard here in the western United States. We can't rule out that the model will completely shift back, but for now, it has completely gotten rid of that, and we just have to take the current information as we have it. We do get a bit of a snowstorm up here for North Dakota and Minnesota, one that I would call relatively major for this time of year. Definitely 6 to 10 inches there in the purple, just to the north of the Minnesota border there, so very close to being a major hit for those regions. Anywhere in the grays here, we're seeing a dusting, if anything. Blues will be 2 to 6 inches of snowfall, purples will be 6 to 10, and we don't really see any pinks, but that would be 10 to 20 inches of snowfall. Again, dramatically less because we don't get that major snowstorm out there for the western United States, mostly the Rockies. Now, for the temperature pattern that is upcoming, we're going to see some pretty crazy stuff. So let's just play this through. We get this next Arctic blast coming through, and it'll be fully set in by the time we're reaching about Saturday afternoon, where these areas will be significantly below normal temperatures, fully engaged in an Arctic blast. Even more dramatic here on Sunday and affecting more regions here, primarily below normal temperatures for all of these regions. We will become a little bit more mild as the week goes on here, where there will still be some below normal temperatures here for a lot of these areas. The warmth will set in for a little bit, but look at that Arctic blast really diving in here around the 15th of October. That's going to be the weekend after. So we see far, far, far below normal temperatures here in the eastern United States during this time frame. And here comes that next big one here that, again, likely is heading towards the eastern United States here. There will be a little bit of a warm up in between, as you can see, but definitely back-to-back Arctic blasts, it appears. Very, very interesting upcoming pattern we have here. Let's just move on and take a look at our 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook group. Here we are taking a look at it. We do have Tropical Depression 12 still. We also have Tropical Cyclone 13. So we'll take a look at the cone forecast for Tropical Cyclone 13. But look at how far south this tropical cyclone is. It is touching South America. This is not a good place for tropical cyclones to head, for development at least, because they end up breaking up in these regions. It's a far suppressed track, and really this has, everything that could happen that would be the worst for development has basically happened with this system. So let's take a look at that cone forecast real quick. Overall, this is good news, but definitely this storm has been suppressed very far south, and I'm actually surprised it's expected to become a tropical storm and a very strong one, and even a hurricane before tracking into Nicaragua. That is unfortunate to see that H there in the track. Definitely surprising with how far south this one has been suppressed. Usually this is considered to be a much less favorable area for a storm to hit. Pretty interesting to see it developing this far, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is a little bit overblown based on the track, but hey, you never know what can happen. Definitely expect the unexpected here. But definitely this storm would have had much more potential if it would have tracked much further north towards the Gulf of Mexico. So we need to be thankful that that did not occur. Anyway, for daily uploads, because we do upload every single day, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We've gained so many subscribers over the past week. I'm so happy about that, and I'm glad so many of you chose to tune in daily. We've seen daily views just increasing a lot, as a lot of you have chosen to tune in. I'm so thankful for that. I'm humbled by it. So I appreciate all of you. Be sure to subscribe if you do want those daily uploads. Like the video if you did enjoy it, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts. I will see you guys in the next video.